Welcome to Hughes from the Heart, from the dark forest of Mason County in the South Sound of the Evergreen State. I'm Spencer Hughes with this Positivity Podcast for you. One of the themes we touch upon a lot, good people doing good things in a good world, and that's certainly the case here. Our focus is on a teenager, 17 years old. She was admired as a friend, as a fellow student, as a cheerleader, and now she's admired as a hero, and rightfully so. Thanks a lot for listening to Hughes from the Heart. This is a free version, a light edition, if you will, and if you like what you hear and it gives you good vibes, gives you good goosebumps, please support my podcast. I could use all the help I could get, and could use you. I need as many positive people as possible. I believe that we are one collective energy, and the more we surround ourselves with positive people, with good hearts and good intentions, the stronger and more loving we all become. And if you agree with that, then join the podcast, for God's sakes. 3 cents a day. It's not going to break you. It's not going to make you. It's not going to be felt. You will not feel $1 a month coming out of your bank account. I promise you that. And if you do feel $1 coming out of your bank account every month, then you need to get a financial advisor, because you got to work on that. I always say, not even jokingly, even broke people can afford my podcast. I mean, even homeless people can afford my podcast. Even panhandlers can afford my podcast. I priced it so that anybody could afford my podcast, and that includes you. So please, at the end of this, if you're interested, join at patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. But this is a story of a 17-year-old by the name of Tyra Winters. She saved the life recently of a choking toddler. She and her teammates from Rockwall High School, that's in Texas, had been aboard a float in a parade for their homecoming. She, along with the others, were waving to the crowd and doing their moves and things like that. And she saw a woman holding a toddler and crying for help. Her 2-year-old boy was choking on a piece of candy. He was quickly turning purple. Tyra spotted him from the float. The boy's mother, Nicole Hornback, says she was trying to perform the Heimlich maneuver, but she had never learned how to perform the technique properly, and she was failing to get the candy out of her toddler's esophagus, I guess, throat. It was lodged in there. Hornback told KTVT, "I just happened to look over to him, and there was no noise, there was no coughing, there was no breathing. And at that moment, that's when I tried to give him the Heimlich, and I've never taken a class. To feel so useless as a mother was the most terrifying thing in my life." And she was calling for help. She was turning to anybody. Can you imagine the anxiety, the fear, the absolute mortal fear of a mother watching as her toddler is potentially dying in front of her? And that's what would have happened. I mean, tragically and sadly, that's what would have happened here had someone not helped. And this someone was Tyra, who immediately upon seeing the situation jumped off of that float, ran to the distressed mother's side. She then grabbed the toddler, turned him upside down, dislodged the candy simply by giving him 3 firm slaps on the back. And she says she learned how to help choking children as a result of her mother working in the medical field. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. I believe that we have guardian angels everywhere. I don't believe necessarily that they come from heaven or they come from wherever it is that a lot of people think they come from. I think we don't need to look any further than the people around us. The people around us can be our guardian angels. And this high school senior and cheerleader is certainly a guardian angel to this family. She recalls, "I saw this kid. I see a little bright red face, and his mom is holding him up, begging for help, screaming, asking, 'Someone help me, someone help me.' My very, very first thought was like, oh my God, I got to help this child." Her kid's turning purple. I immediately jumped off the float. I ran down to the kiddo, and I was like, I got it, and just grabbed him from the mom, tilted him upside down, and I just hit a good 3 back thrusts. And just like that, the candy was dislodged, and the young toddler, whose name is Clark, was breathing again. Hornback said, relieved, "She saved my baby." I mean, this is just an amazing story. I'm getting goosebumps just sharing it with you. Hornback said, "I commend her for being a teenager and being trained. You're amazing. You're going to do great things in life." Hornback plans to get first aid training for everyone in her family after this incident. It was too much of a close call, and oftentimes we need that close call before we look at ourselves in the mirror and say, gosh, something has to change here. And in this case, she knew she had to get training for her entire family. By the way, the American Red Cross is a great organization. They offer classes in first aid, including choking, CPR, and these classes are offered online and also in person at a convenient location near you. Check out redcross.org, redcross.org, on how you can learn first aid and CPR. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be in the right place at the right time to save a life one of these days. I'm Spencer Hughes. This has been a Hughes from the Heart, and I appreciate you listening. If you like what you hear, please feel free to support the podcast. I would love it. I need as many people as possible to join up and sign up for the podcast. We've been doing this for a while now, and I need to get the numbers up. I want to get the numbers up. I want to surround myself with as many positive people as possible, those seeking positivity and mindfulness and meditation, and who agree with me that there's much more good in this world than bad. We just need to focus our attention on it to see it. It's everywhere. For some reason, the mainstream media doesn't want us to know about it, but it's out there. And stories of people like Tyra Winters are everywhere if we search for them. Thanks, Tyra, for what you did, and thank you for listening to this light version of Hughes from the Heart. See you over on the full version at patreon.com/Spencer Hughes.